What does a real private investigator actually do all day long? It's not what the movies and the TV shows tell you. Given all those long hours spent on painstaking surveillance, navigating complex legalities and issues, and managing demanding clients, the daily life of a PI is far more strategic and far less sensational than you would imagine. Get ready to discover the often overlooked details that truly define the private investigations profession. Let's first debunk what I refer to as the Hollywood illusion of the private investigator's life. Movies and TV shows always show PIs as being these fedora-wearing, cigar-smoking, semi-sleazy guys wearing a poorly fitted suit. Or maybe it's the overly vain and conceited and often good-looking man driving some crazy sports car and always showing up just in time to save the day. Well, let me set the facts straight right now. I own 0 fedoras. I do not smoke fancy cigars or any cigars for that matter. I am far from good-looking and I don't drive a fancy sports car, to be sure. In fact, the average PI out there is the exact opposite of what Hollywood depicts us to be. Now, don't get me wrong, I know there are some out there that fit that stereotypical picture, but they are the exception rather than the rule. Yes, I have met many vain, conceited, sports car driving, cigar smoking, and sleazy looking PIs, but thankfully, they are far and few between. This video is sponsored by OREP Insurance and Working PI Magazine. OREP is a leading provider of private investigator liability insurance. Visit orep.org for a quote today. You see, being a private investigator today isn't about glamour, it's about grit, it's about determination, and it's about strategy. You see, private investigators are just like you. We are everyday normal people who go to work day in and day out trying to make ends meet. The biggest difference for many PIs, though, is that we are self-employed individuals. We have no boss looking over our shoulder. We have no HR department making sure we clock in on time. We have nothing holding us accountable except ourselves. This is where the big challenges often come in, especially for new PIs. You see, it is far too easy to get up whenever and go to the office whenever you darn well feel like it. It is far too easy to put off tasks that you just don't want to do. It is far too easy to not answer the phone because you don't want to be interrupted. And it is far too easy, well, to mess up your entire PI business and never know what happened. This is where the grit, where the determination of a successful private investigator comes in. You have to be determined to do what needs to be done, regardless of what the task is, to ensure you are successful. Here are a couple of things I do to help me stay on task, stay focused, and ensure everything and every task gets done every day. I use my calendar as my to-do list. That is right. I schedule everything that needs to be done. I usually sit down and go over my calendar at the end of the day and make sure tomorrow's tasks are outlined. I also look at the week first thing on Monday, and I look at the next week at the end of the day on Friday. I also make sure I am as realistic about the timing for each task as possible. I don't schedule things that will take 15 minutes in an hour-long block just to fill up my calendar. And I try not to schedule hour-long tasks for 15 minutes either. In fact, if I underestimate the time, that's going to cause me to have to stop and rearrange my schedule, or I have to schedule a future time slot to finish the work that I'm currently doing. In using my calendar this way, I can also prioritize my work. I put the hard-to-do things, the tasks I hate doing, at the beginning of my day. This gets them out of the way. But here's a little secret. I don't actually schedule every little task I have to do. This would fill up my calendar way beyond what is really manageable. Not to mention, it would probably depress me to see that I have hundreds of tasks to do every single day. And in reality, a PI is going to do 100 tasks every day. But when it comes to those little tasks, those 5-minute or less tasks, I just take care of those things as soon as they arise. Here is a good example. I schedule when I check emails each day, and I also do not leave my email open because it would bring about far too many interruptions and distractions. When I do check my email, I take care of those emails right then and right there. If a client emails me asking for an update, I just reply right then to it. Now, that reply may be something like, "Thank you for the follow-up. We're still working the case and I will provide you with an update sometime tomorrow." In that event, I then add a scheduled event in my calendar for tomorrow to review the case and send the client an update. I also use filters in my email client to put specific emails in specific folders. For instance, I have many professional groups that I am associated with, and all of these groups have a listserv. Given that, I get dozens of emails every day from all of these listservs. So I have a folder called listservs, and all of those emails go directly into that folder. I learned long ago that trying to read every single one of those emails can take up hours of my time each day. So now I just take a moment at the end and the beginning of each day to skim through them and read the subject line. If the subject is important to me, like Colorado investigator needed, then I read that email. The rest, I just delete. So back to those little tasks, the quick phone calls, the quick email replies, whatever it is, just take care of them when they come up. Now let's discuss the work that is scheduled, the actual work a PI does every single day. What is really involved in running a PI business anyway? Well, I can tell you this, waxing my Maserati is way down on the list. If I have a surveillance job scheduled, it is in my calendar, but I usually break it out into specific tasks if needed. I might have equipment prep and loading scheduled late the afternoon prior. Then I put the surveillance in to include all estimated drive time to and from to ensure I have a realistic picture of what I am doing that day. As far as video editing and reporting, they each become separate items in my calendar, as well as sending the client updates or final reports. A couple of daily tasks I have in my calendar are daily accounting and daily affidavits. These are both scheduled early in the day. Now, I may not have any accounting to do, and if I don't, that's great. But if I do have some, I want it taken care of right away so I don't get backed up. And if I have to go out on an assignment early, I may have to forego it for the day, but the reminder will come back up the next day. Now, to me, this is simple accounting tasks like entering and filing expense receipts with a total accumulated time of 15 minutes a day. For those larger accounting tasks like reconciling bank accounts, those are scheduled monthly with the correct estimated time. The daily affidavits task for me is preparing and sending affidavits to my process servers and to my clients. These are simple tasks that, if ignored, can cause a lot of issues, so I make sure I have scheduled time each day to take care of it. If I am real busy with serves, I may manually add in a time slot somewhere else to do these too. Then there are the phone calls. How do you get those scheduled? Well, you don't. You can't tell for sure when clients will call. Now, I do have a good idea of what days and what times most calls come in, and I try to make sure I am available for those time frames. But being available doesn't mean sitting at my desk, staring at a blank screen, waiting for the phone to ring. This is when I schedule regular desk work like writing reports for clients, editing videos, working on marketing, advertising, checking emails, major accounting projects, and things like that. Then when the phone rings, I answer it. And this is key to a successful PI business. I have seen many PIs fail because they let calls go to voicemail because they are too busy, too focused on the task at hand. Then when they do call the client back, well, they don't answer, or they hired someone else, or, in other words, they do not become clients. They become lost potential clients. How many phone calls does a PI get in a day anyway? How much time do we spend talking to prospective clients? Well, depending on the day, I might get anywhere from 0 to 20 phone calls. Yep, that pretty much sums it up. There is no way to tell when your next big client will call. You just needed to make sure that you are available to answer, and you need to answer, even if it might just be some phone solicitor or scammer trying to take your money. Now, we touched a little bit on accounting, but I would be remiss if I didn't tell you how much fun this can really be. There are the accounts payable that need to be done. I do this as part of my daily accounting. I get a bill, I pay a bill. It's that simple. Now, many monthly bills I have on recurring auto payments. So when I get that email saying that bill was paid, I just enter it into my accounting software right there and then. When it comes to invoices from subs, I just pay after the sub sends me their final report and their invoice. No sense in waiting. Now, I know some folks follow the language in their contract to a T. If it says invoices will be paid within 30 days, they wait until day 30 to send the check. But why? Why keep the sub waiting? You have been paid. You've got a retainer from the client. Why not just pay the invoice right away? You do get retainers from your clients, don't you? Paying the sub right away makes the sub happy, keeps your books up to date, and helps you see a more realistic financial picture of your business. I have seen so many new PIs think they are getting rich, spending all of their money only to realize they are really broke because they didn't keep up their accounting practices. Don't be like those PIs. Now there is also the marketing and advertising parts of running your PI business. This part of the business is so simple, it should take no time at all, right? Wrong. Marketing and advertising takes a lot of discipline and dedication in itself. You can't just schedule an hour and sit there and do whatever feels right. You need to do a lot of research, get a little education on the subject, and plan to do it right. Now, I don't have time for that in this video to cover all the things that you need to do when it comes to marketing and advertising your PI business. So you might want to check out my book, Marketing Basics for Private Investigators, to learn how to do this successfully. It is safe to say, though, that once you have a plan in place, you probably need to schedule anywhere from 2 to 5 hours a month to review that plan and make adjustments as needed. Now, what about continuing education for private investigators? Is that even a thing? Yes, it is, and here's why. Many state PI licensing requires a set amount of continuing education every year. And even if your licensing doesn't require it, you need to require it for yourself so you can ensure that you stay up to date with the latest technology, techniques, and laws and requirements that cover the PI industry. This continuing education can also open up new areas for you to expand and scale your business too. When I started out as a PI, I did workers' comp surveillance, and that was it. That was all I did. But I knew if I was going to succeed, I needed to be able to branch off and have some other lines of service that I could offer clients. You see, this is a cutthroat business. This is a highly competitive business, and it is a business with many ebbs and flows, both work-wise and money-wise. Having multiple types of investigative services you can offer can offset those ebbs and flows and keep things somewhat stable. So what does a private investigator really do? Well, let's look at the big picture. For most of us, being a PI means we are business owners who have to be proficient in time management, accounting, sales, report writing, record keeping, equipment upkeep, networking, deciphering legal requirements, contract negotiations, office janitorial duties, and a myriad of other tasks. Oh, and let's not forget waxing our Maserati. Now go down, hit that thumbs up button, and click that join button if you would like to learn the benefits of becoming a PI Guide channel member.